Langston Hughes was a Harlem Renaissance author. Born in Joplin, Missouri on February 1st, 1902. Died in New York City, May 22nd, 1967. He attended Columbia University in New York in 1921, but he left due to racial tensions. He then eventually attended Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, which was the first black college in the nation. He was seen as an important figure during the Harlem Renaissance, since he was a very influential author. Now I'll be reading his poem, The Negro Speaks of Rivers. I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul is green deep like rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans, and I've seen its muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. Now I will be analyzing the poem through soapstone. The subject consists of African history, of where they've been and where the African race is present and noticed in history. He also says, my soul has grown deep like rivers. I understood this to be as he is talking about his culture goes back to when people first lived or knew of these rivers. The occasion is first off biased on his race, and he is giving witness to what it means to be African American in a culture of the 1920s, and as stated before, he withdrew from Columbia University due to racial tensions, which may have also promoted him to write. There was a huge migration of African Americans from the South to the North. Now that they were able to live closer to cities and afford housing, but also called racial tension in society between the Caucasian African American migrants. Hughes' audiences most likely would have consisted of culturally pride-filled African Americans who were struggling in society and wanted something to make them feel more than what they were treated as. However, The Negro Speaks of Rivers was directed towards a racist at the time who continued to oppress the African American culture, who knew nothing, and in order to educate them of who they were and where they came from. Purpose would consist of a feeling of pride and a reminder of the African American culture, of who they were, where they came from, and what got them this far. Langston Hughes, as a speaker, probably always wanted to inspire others to make a change and become a better version of oneself. We can infer he was educated since he went to Columbia, but the issues that came up caused him to withdraw and continue on with his life. And finally, the tone of the poem seems to be pride. Seen in the line, my soul has grown deep like the rivers. His soul passed down through generations of African culture. He is now only a small part of it. There's also a sense of knowledge, how he speaks of all these different locations where African culture has been present, and we assume that he is an educated person. Thank you.